Hey folks, welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video, and finally, Pokemon Tools has pushed their update, right? So we could actually you know use the website with the new units and such. So anyways, that's great. Shout outs to the creator of Pokemon Tools, right? So yeah, let's talk a bit about Arc Suit, Cynthia, and Garchomp that's dropping later tonight, right? Which you know what? It's anniversary. I'll be live pulling for it, so make sure to tune in later tonight, right? When it drops. And good luck to everyone pulling, because trust me, you need the good luck. And yeah, anyways, let's talk a bit about the unit. So starting off with some of the upsides, right? First of all, it's a ground leader. It's just like they're ushering this like completely new meta, where like before with master pairs, it's like they have leaders that lead like passives that lead certain like regions, right, with the master passives and the circles and stuff. And these are just mainly for the types, which are just, again, so much better than regions, because when you're making teams, you're usually fighting a stage that most of the time has like one weakness, right? So this is great, right? You have the ground myth, which is basically just like a ground flag bearer, right? And then Ground Judgment, which increases your team's ground rebuff, which that part might not be super useful, but it also does lower the ground rebuff of the opponents, right? So that's just, it's huge, just massive multipliers if you're running a ground team, right? Which you should be with her, right, at least. And then after that, in terms of like other big like ground stuff, that's not how you spell sandstorm. I'm missing like 2 letters there you go. But also, you know, it has ground zone and sandstorm, right? So yeah, just it has the move sandstorm, and every time you use sandstorm you get ground zone at the same time. So that's really good. They should come and go same time, and you also get extension on both sandstorm and ground zone, which is just amazing. Right, that's amazing. You also got like some other ways to get more. I mean, there's Dust Kicker and 5 out of 5, which does also give Sandstorm when you sink, obviously. Yeah, I mean, look. I'd say most of the time with the amount of sand, like 2 extended Sandstorms should be able to get you through the battle. I don't really think this is like a huge deal. In most case scenarios, two of these are enough, right? So anyways, yeah, those are, you know, just in terms of just being that big anchor in like a ground team, right? Then obviously you have the damage and sync. It's the stats are what they are, right? I mean, 428 is not bad, that's for sure. If you 6 REX, it's nearly 500, especially if you also 150 her, right? EX roll, X striker EX roll, that's just gonna go, that's, yeah, that would just go nuts. But you know, outside of that, right, you do have just a high base power move over here with the B move, and then on top of that, you do get like some multipliers in the grid, I believe, right? They're yep, extra 50% on your sandstorm and the sync as well, right? And especially for the sync, you do get a lot of like sync move up next, right? That's another part of it. You get a lot of sync move up next. There's also a super effective up next on your trainer move, and then there's also, you get a lot of physical move up next as well, right? Like this gives you +5 sync move up next. Each rank gives 10% extra damage to your sync move. That straight up train move gives you 50% more. And then on top of that, you know, stuff like Mighty Command, you get more physical move up next. I believe you also have more over here, Brawn Gain, right, on Sandstorm, extra physical movement up next. I mean, I don't think these are great nodes to pick up, but these are options if you really want them, I guess, right? So yeah, those are good. And then I believe in the passive, yeah, and you're basically just fully self-sufficient, right? First time you use a status move, that's boom, +6 physical attack, right? And then on top of that, you also have the guaranteed crits, guaranteed hits, right? So that's just pretty amazing over there. You also have a AoE trap in the grid. If you pick this up, it's 9 energy, right? Your Sandtomb can AoE trap the opponent, and then again, like with your B move, it increases the sync move up next effect by 1 rank when its attack hits a target that is trapped. I'm assuming this applies to like the AoE, right? So if you hit all 3 targets and if they're all trapped, I'm assuming this means you're getting like +3 sync move up next with every one of these hits. So that's an extra 30%, you know, to your sync like every single time you hit. So that's a lot, right? That's a lot. And what else we got? We do have some sync acceleration. I believe there's propulsion on Sandstorm. And I do believe you also get a sync move countdown. The first time, yep, you use a status move, right? Which, again, in this case, just Sandstorm or whatever, right? So, yeah, you also have that. And then there are defense, speed, and accuracy debuffs. There's an accuracy debuff in the grid, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. It's the Discombobulate on Sandtomb. I doubt you'll be using that too often. I mean, there's no really... Not any multipliers on her that really is based off of accuracy debuff, so there's not too much point, but I mean that's an option, I guess, if you need it, just because there's not that many accuracy debuffers in the game. And then yeah, your B move debuffs the opponent. Again, it's an AoE, it's Earthquake AoE, right? Your B move debuffs the opponent's defenses by 1, right? There's also a defense crush 9, so if you pick that up, that's like -2 every single time, right? You use that, which is pretty big. There's also the hit trapped opponent speed down, right, where you could debuff the speed. There are a decent amount of like ground type units that do have multipliers based on speed, right? A lot of cakewalkers out there, and whatnot. So that's definitely nice to have, at least. Also, you know, just to make them slower. So yeah, why not, right? And then yeah, you also have I don't know why I wrote SE up next twice, but you also have gradual healings, I guess, for yourself. Oh, you also protect your team from like Sandstorm if you want. So that's cool, I guess. Because you know you are whipping up Sandstorm. It would be nice if they not take. Oh, also in terms of the extra sync damage, you also have Haymaker over there. Almost forgot about that one. That's a pretty big one, you know. So yeah, that's some of the upsides. In terms of downsides, number 1, good luck if you're trying to pull for her, which I'm assuming a lot of people are, just because she's Cynthia and she's a really good unit, and she's Cynthia, right? So you do need good luck, because again, 1% master failure rate, right? It's this new arc scout thing, but it has the 1% rate for Cynthia, and it's 500 scout points. So you really don't want to go down to scout points. So really want to hope you get good luck here. So that's yeah, I guess that's one. It's not like an actual downside in terms of like the unit, like in battles or whatever. It's just a side note, right? So prepare yourselves for you know, just financially prepare yourselves and also mentally prepare yourselves for the worst. And then also, I guess the speed isn't super good, right? I mean, this is 150 at 6 REX, but like overall the speed isn't great. But you know, on the other hand, like the B move thankfully is only 2 gauges, but again, if you are running it with ground type Pokemon, which again you should, right? It's just the age-old ground units in this game are very slow and, you know, have high gauge moves. So that's the issue there. Although herself, I mean, her gauge issue shouldn't be that bad. It's just running it with, again, other really slow and high demand ground units. So yeah, there's that. All right, now let's talk a bit about the lucky skill and Synchrid and all that stuff, right? T-comp, etc. So lucky skill wise, I think this one's pretty straightforward. I mean, you could still go with Crit Strike 2 if you want, but you should be getting the free lucky cookie for her, which I believe is Sandblaster 4, which is pretty good. I mean, it's only for sync, obviously it's not for regular moves, but like her sync is like a pretty big deal. You know, being, you know, you got Haymaker, you got the extra 50% in Sandstorm, right, already. And you want to Mega with her, just get the extra stats off of, Mega Garchomp. And you get all those extra sync move up next nodes. Like, I don't think there's much of a reason to not go with it, right? Unless for some reason you just really don't want to sync with her and just want to use her as a regular move damage healer. But hey, that's why we have those switching skills right now. So anyways, yeah, the lucky skill part's pretty straightforward. In terms of the grid, I guess, again, 1 out of 5, there's not much to really talk about. Okay, so this part is kind of cool. Like, again, sucks that, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5 for these units now, but at least you get a free attack plus 20 over there at like 2 out of 5, right? Which is pretty good, right? It doesn't cost you any energy. But outside of that, you do have a few things going for you. It depends on like who your teammates are, but if anyone needs speed down for like Hunter's Instinct or Cakewalk, then that's great pickup over there. Again, Sandstorm Discombobulate I don't think is a huge deal personally, and then you go for the move gauge refresh over here on the Earthquake, which again, she doesn't cost too many gauges herself, but it's just ground units, right? Or that's kind of rough. But yeah, since you don't have too much else to pick up, might as well pick this up. Just one extra physical move up next. Not like a huge deal. Other than that, Sands of Time probably again for the gauges in your team, and then other than that, probably, I mean, Sand Fortress if you need it. If there's any stage that requires, that has like AoE debuffs, but otherwise probably just pick up some more power ups over here. Some attack ups, right? So, all right, 3 out of 5. Wait, 3 out of 5. Oh, you don't get one at 3. Wait, is this not 3 out of 5? Oh, no, it is 3 out. Okay, so 3 out of 5, you get a free sync move up over there, which is cool. But in terms of the rest of the grid, again, she is pretty big on the sync, so like you kind of want to go for the sync stuff. So let's just do a sync grid, real sync grid. You know what I mean. Over here real quick, you could pick these up, right? That gives you Haymaker, that, then sync move power up over there. And as for the rest, you could pick these 2 up as well with relative ease, right? Relative ease. They did make it so those nodes aren't really accessible, so I wonder if they're just they just really want to encourage just going for the sync mindsets with these new arc suit units, right? And outside of that, I think Defense Crush would be nice if you want to pick that up. Another thing that would help your sync part is actually picking this up, which makes it, the Sand Tomb is AoE, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but if it is per like opponent hit, then you are getting a lot, the extra like 20% extra on your sync move with every single one of your B move hits, right? And assuming the sides survive long enough, right? That's like an extra 60% on your sync move if you have like the sides trapped there as well. Obviously, you could also just run another unit on your team to trap, right? I mean, there are plenty of Sand Tomb / trap units for ground types, so it shouldn't be that hard to find someone else to trap for. If you don't want to pick that up, just want to go for extra just defense debuffs, that's fine too. But yeah, that's, I feel like, what you generally want to go for at 3 out of 5. Again, there's not that much just like non-sync based grid stuff, so there's not even that much point going over anything else over there, honestly. 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5. These 2 are just, they're free nodes. You pick them up, they're free. If you're lucky enough to get that many anyways in the first place. So all right, that's the grids. All right, team comp wise, I mean, again, there's a decent amount of like ground type options you could really go for. I recommend going for like full ground teams, like even the supports. So like now supports actually, the typing for the supports actually matter, right? So yeah, Rika obviously is a great ground type support. Right? She could give you extra ground zone if you really need it, for one. You could go for Fanfi as well, just because you get that extra rebuff. Although I don't think it's really worth it, just because the value kind of decreases right? With the amount of like rebuffs that you get like eventually, right? But you know, Fanfi's fine, I guess. But as for anything else, I mean, he's always solid. He's Mr. Solid, right? He's just Mr. Solid. I mean, if you really just need like a special defensive tank, I guess. Sure. I mean, she doesn't add too much. Like, you know, it's just mainly like a tank thing. I mean, I don't think too many people have her like 3 out of 5. So if you're running her, it's just like the regular thing, which is I guess fine. I guess like the extra speed buff is nice because again, a lot of ground type damage dealers are pretty heavy on gauges and pretty slow, except for like this guy. Adamant. I mean, he's not fast, but like he's also like 2 gauges at least, right? So that helps, right? So the gauges over here should be pretty good. Again, she does have some like move gauge acceleration, right, which could definitely help a lot. Over here also she's like a one gauge spammer as well, so that's why like Rika's just really good here, which is why I really need Rika. That aside, outside of Adamant, again, there's a lot. Like you could run this field Giovanni, right? Field Giovanni, I believe you do need offensive. Oh, also he's really slow. Also, you got like hit the gas as well. So, oh no, he doesn't need. He just needs what, crit, right? Yeah, unless you go for the critical crit on the grid. But yeah, you go with this Giovanni's. Giovanni's nice. The other Giovanni's still solid as well, right? Again, these are just high gauge, slow units, unfortunately. But I mean, they do their job. Obviously, the old Cynthia, you could run double Garchomp over here. It's also cool. Camera is fine too, like as a spotlight. One that is kind of unfortunately not. Oh, she's also great. She's great as well, right? Although they do kind of compete for sync, I guess a bit. Yeah. And Groudon, unfortunately, not the best. Not the best over here, just because she's Sandstorm and then he's Sun, so obviously you can only have one weather up at the same time. So she and Groudon doesn't really mix too well. So that's slightly unfortunate, but otherwise, yeah, a lot of options there. I mean, you don't have to go full ground. Like, if you don't have Rika, obviously, you know, any, like, physical support is still solid, right? Just, yeah. But if you do have her, that's just really nice with the extra ground boost, right? So, overall, this unit is an absolute monster, right? I mean, if you have any needs at all, like, at the ground, you know, in terms of the ground typing, this is like your one unit fix for that, right? It'll absolutely carry your, like, even if like your only other ground type damage dealer is like it's a Hapu and like Mudsteel, right? Like she could make Hapu and Mudsteel into a beast too. So yeah, like she just does so much. Yeah, I feel like this is easily like a 9.8 out of 10 in terms of you know, pulling again. 500 scout points. Please keep that in mind, right? Like, know your financial limits. That's all I gotta say about that. Like, please know your financial limits. But like, in terms of a unit, it's walk-off home run, absolute home run of a unit. Fantastic unit. Like, you can't really say too much like more, you know, better things about this. Like, as a unit, it's near perfect in terms of a unit. It's just really well crafted. So anyways, yeah, that's really this one. I guess hope you all enjoyed. My guys, think in the comments down below. Like, enjoy the videos, subscribe to the channel for some more Pro Masters content and all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.